The funny thing about GoGo, and I will never correct anybody who's watching this, people still swear that they use my pedals in the late 60s and 70s. And I will never correct them. I'm like, yeah, I took over the company. And everybody knows the pedal tuner was not invented until the mid 90s or so. But people swear up and down that they were using GoGo, the GoGo tuners way back when. So Sid Fernandez, he's a pitcher for the Mets, or was a pitcher for the Mets, and a huge metalhead. He would call me up and like, hey Mike, pick me out a couple of Jacksons, pick me out this, go to the game. So I'd go to Shea Stadium, take the subway with all the guitars. And of course, it was cool. I mean, it was 86 Mets, so we got to meet Mookie Wilson, Ron Darling, and all those guys. And I got there with all these guitars. And it's strange because, like Sid, he was making what, $7 million a year at that time, something, low paid at that point. And he was terrified of his mother. So he didn't want his mother to know that he was buying these guitars. So he would just give me his credit card, take these guitars, and meet me at Shea Stadium, just because he didn't want his mother to know. And then after the games, like I said, he was just so into guitar and metal. So and I would bring like my buddies who were like huge baseball fans, and they want to talk to him about the '86 Mets and all the guys, and he was not interested. But he'd be like, "Hey, Mike, what does Metallica do on this third measure? What is?" And it had to be all metal. It wasn't rock. It wasn't pop. Every little like metal lick he always wanted to know. The concept for the brand is to keep it simple. I thought that too many brands were overthinking what a tuner should be. It should be mini strobe, half strobe, full strobe. I mean, 5 lights, 3 lights, this function, that function. And my thought process is, let's keep it simple. People just want to see you play guitar. They're not coming to your show to hear you tune. My highlights, and I mentioned this story many times, it was Stanley Clarke. And Stanley was recording with a friend of mine, Oscar Cortaya, from Spyro Gyra. And I get an email from Stanley saying, hey, this is Stanley Clarke. How do I become part of the GoGo Tuner family? So here, Stanley's using that language. And I'm like, really? Like, how many tuners would you like, Stanley? The cool thing about the GoGo Tuner family is, not only are they supporting the product, we promote the artist as much as we do the product. And the artists also support the other artists. So if we have a up-and-coming band or a band that's, say, released a record, I can reach out to another band that's, say, sold 10 million records or 50 million records and say, well, do you mind posting this? This is a GoGo Tuner family. There's never a problem.